5 steps to change from synthetic fertilizers to low-cost biological methods. When I bought my first farm, having graduated from agronomy engineer, I started applying conventional methods and using synthetic fertilizers to improve productivity, and I wished to improve profitability. But after 2 years, it became apparent that the soil was being degraded and I didn't achieve profitability. So I had to find a better way. I started reading André Bazin's book called Grass Productivity, where he advises to wean your land of synthetic fertilizers, basically synthetic nitrogen, because that works by burning the organic matter, releasing the nutrients, and effectively mining your soils. And I didn't want to mine my soils. I wanted to leave a better ranch or farm to my daughters. I wanted to leave a better world than I received. So I started to learn about how microorganisms and cattle interact to increase humus in our soil. And I weaned my land of synthetic nitrogen because I needed to use more and more nitrogen as the time passed by. And my organic matter wasn't improving. I knew that soil humus was the true soil fertility, and I needed to find a way, as you do, to increase it so I could get a better and better production each year without having to spend more and more money. These synthetic fertilizers are not free, are not cheap, and by actually degrading your land, it's not good sense to use them. So we need to be very cautious. So this led me to stop the application of synthetic fertilizers, and I had learned how to produce organically without chemicals when I was a teenager in my own backyard, where I had rabbits and I had my own vegetable garden. So I had to learn how to make compost, harvest the rabbit droppings and make compost and spread it on the land, and that helped me learn. And so now I just had to do this on a larger scale with cattle. So back to Bazin's book. He says that when you stop using synthetic fertilizers, you will go through 2 or 3 years of hunger, a hunger phase he called it, or the lean years, when the soil will not be providing the nutrients necessary for your forages, and they will turn yellowish or pale green. And that happened to me. But I insisted, and I eventually got to the point by using good grazing methods and adapted animals to where my soil responded and started improving. But why do we need to buy synthetic nitrogen when the air we breathe is 78% nitrogen? Why do we need to use acidified phosphorus, which inhibits mycorrhiza, whose role is also to release the phosphorus not available in the soil to the plant? Why do we need to use potassium chloride when that will burn organic matter? And we know that organic matter, each 1% of organic matter, holds up to 25,000 gallons of water per acre and releases up to 40 pounds of nitrogen per acre per year. Wouldn't it be nicer to improve your soil humus, organic matter, to where you don't need to buy any synthetic fertilizers, and then your land will keep improving year after year? Certainly, I wanted that. So, you do not need to suffer what I suffered. I have learned these steps, easy steps in my experience in consulting in many different environments that help maintain productivity and forage quality as we wean our land from synthetic fertilizers. Number 1, reduce your synthetic fertilizers by half the first year. Number 2, on the second year, cut that again by half, so you're now in 1/4 of the synthetic fertilizer you were using. 3, And years 3 and 4, you keep it there at 1/4, and then on the 4th or 5th year, depending on how fast your land improves, you wean them off completely. Number 2, start total grazing immediately. Because if you do it correctly, you will enhance the leaf to stem ratio, which produces more humus by returning the exudates through the roots to feed the microorganisms in the soil that actually become converted to humus. This is of the utmost importance because the humus effect on the land necessary to achieve total grazing will enhance the permeability of the gases, so we have a better gas interchange. And remember, the air we breathe is 78% nitrogen. We want that to get it to the soil where microorganisms will convert it into usable forms for our plants. If you do this, you will notice that the color of your forages will turn a vibrant green, and it will be much higher production, just as if you were fertilizing with synthetic fertilizers, but without destroying your organic matter, but actually growing more of it. Number 3, reduce gradually the use of insecticides, fungicides, and dewormer until your herd is weaned of them. Do not do blanket treatment. That means don't treat your whole herd based on what the vet says or based on what the seller of the chemical says. Only treat the animals that actually require them, and you will identify them as they will be the ones in low or poor body condition. Then only treat those, and once they are recovered, you can sell them, because you do not want parasites resistant to chemicals, but you want genetics that are resistant to parasites. Remember, those chemicals kill the soil life, including our earthworms and dung beetles, which are so important for grass productivity and land regeneration. Number 4, stop using herbicide from the very beginning. That's a very bad chemical. And there are other ways. You can mow it, you can do different treatments. You need to be creative. Number 5, to improve profitability and total production, start correct selection and use adapted genetic bulls, so as your soil improves, your herd improves to where they are more efficient in converting the extra forage produced, while continuing to improve your soil with their hoof and mouths.